In this video, we will be talking about the evolution of the Republican Party in 2023, and which began in 2022. So, first of all, Happy New Year's. Let's make this year even better than 2022. This is my first video of 2023. This is my first upload of 2023. I did a live stream yesterday, but technically that's not a video. That's just live stream. So, first video of 2023. Let's get started. So, Chris Sununu has said, this was on December 15th, but you get the point. Sununu on 2024, the GOP is moving on from Trump. And that is exactly right. Chris Sununu is somebody that is very popular He's a Republican governor who was reelected by extremely wide margins this year as their governor, despite the state voting for the Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan by 9%, and he won by 25%. He won by a solid margin. So you can see how popular Chris Sununu is. And he is someone who is unapologetically a conservative. He is a traditional Reagan conservative, and he is kind of like this symbol of a new Republican Party that is moving on from Trump, because he is a traditional conservative, but extremely popular, even in a state that went to Joe Biden by 7, went to Maggie Hassan by 9. So he really is this leader of the evolution of the grand old party, of the Republican Party, and he is a strong voice of moving on away from Donald Trump. And now more and more people, this is not about Chris Sununu, I just used him as an example, but a lot of people are looking at people like Chris Sununu and Ron DeSantis, many others, saying they are winning big, and they are not, they are conservatives, and they are not particularly associated all that closely with Donald Trump. And while we looked at Sununu and DeSantis, and then we saw nationwide Kari Lake, Dr. Oz, Tudor Dixon, Adam Laxalt. Even Adam Laxalt was thought to be a strong candidate. This Trump factor, because they are so closely aligned with Trump, and Trump is practically running their campaigns, they lost across the nation. I'm sure all of you know Donald Trump has declared his candidacy in the 2024 Republican primary. And a lot of people are looking at the midterm results and saying, we cannot support this guy again. He was able to win in 2016, but more and more Republicans and more Americans, frankly, are willing now to admit that the 2020 election was not stolen. And a lot of Republicans are saying, Trump has lost us 2 elections now. Why should he lose us, or why should we nominate him again in 2024 so that he could lose another one for us? He lost it in 2020, lost it in 2022. He lost us the election in 2022. If he's nominated in 2024, and I agree with this, and that's what a lot of people are saying, he's going to lose against Biden. I would agree with that. I think that Biden would beat Trump in a head-to-head matchup. So, with all of these politicians, or with all these Republicans coming out saying we need to move on from Trump, Chris Sununu, DeSantis hasn't said it directly, but is, basically part of that movement. Then you could go into Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, Doug Ducey, even Pat Toomey, who was always friendly with Trump. All these people are saying we need to move on. So there really is this evolution inside the Republican Party. A lot of Republicans saying, you know what, we need to change. We need to change the party, and we need to win. If we want to win, we have to move away from Donald Trump and nominate somebody else for president. And these are people who have expressed interest. A lot of these staunchly anti-Trump Republicans from the beginning are backing Larry Hogan, and I should have used Larry Hogan as even a better example than Chris Sununu. Larry Hogan is is arguably even more conservative than Chris Sununu, and he is an even more popular governor than Chris Sununu is, in an even more Democratic state than New Hampshire. He's the governor of Maryland, and he's always been anti-Trump from the beginning, but he is really pushing for the party to move on from Trump, as so many people are. So, these anti-Trumps from the beginning are backing people like Hogan, Liz Cheney, some maybe John Bolton. He'll probably run. But we have a lot of once Trump fans, people who voted for him in 2016 and 2020, now saying we need to support other candidates. Maybe Mike Pence is the guy that a lot of these people are talking about. Not really anyone else on this list. Maybe Nikki Haley, but looking at these potential candidates, of course, the big one, Ron DeSantis, getting a lot of attention. Chris Sununu getting a lot of attention. Glenn Youngkin, the governor of Virginia, all governors getting a lot of attention. Even Brian Kemp, even Marco Rubio, are among these possibilities of people who voted for Trump twice, but are saying we simply need to move on because we cannot lose another election. So, and then looking at the map, if it's Trump versus DeSantis, let's say, and I think that this could happen. I think that Hogan, Haley, Hutchinson, Cheney, Bolton, Pence, even Pence, okay? Pompeo, Cyrus, Abbott, probably not Abbott, but Youngkin, Sununu, whatever. I could see all of those guys coming together, uniting behind Ron DeSantis, getting Ron DeSantis to run for president, and he would have all that support among the not even anti-Trump, but just tired of Trump faction of the party, not hardcore Trump, Kasich too, faction of the party. I could really see that happening, where all of these Republicans, politicians, get behind Ron DeSantis for president. And if it's strong enough, Ron DeSantis could pose a serious threat when it comes to these primary states. Now, this is not my final prediction whatsoever, or really even a prediction. I'm just going, I'm not even going to talk about each state, but DeSantis really, if he has enough support, if enough Republicans like Cheney, like Pence, like Hogan, like Youngkin, like Sununu, like Kasich come to Iowa and campaign for DeSantis, he could have enough support to win the state of Iowa in the Iowa caucus. Going to New Hampshire, his chances are very good in New Hampshire. But what no one is talking about, and what could lead to Ron DeSantis defeating Donald Trump in a presidential primary and becoming the next president of the United States, is the New Hampshire primary. Because Chris Sununu is the governor of New Hampshire and literally controls the New Hampshire Republican Party. With a Sununu endorsement, Ron DeSantis could sweep the state of New Hampshire. Okay? It's as simple as that. Nevada, he would win. It's in the Sun Belt. South Carolina, obviously, he would win. The 4 early states, I think, would all go to DeSantis, if I'm being honest. Iowa's iffy. But after Iowa, let's say DeSantis pulls out a big win in New Hampshire because of Sununu, he would have that momentum to win Nevada, South Carolina. But I mean, looking at the regions, in all these, in a lot of these states, in the South, DeSantis really would do very, very well in the South. In Virginia, if he has the Youngkin endorsement, he would win there. In all the states that Cruz won in 2016, Ron DeSantis would do very well. Alaska, Utah, Wyoming, Montana. A lot of these states are iffy, Idaho, whatever. But you get the point. Ron DeSantis could do very, very well in this primary if he has enough support from these other Republicans. So the point of this video is that, key takeaways, there is a evolution going on in the Republican Party, and it's not ending anytime soon. It is growing. More and more Republicans are standing up to Trump and saying that they need to move on. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would mean a great deal to me. And I hope to see you all next time. Thanks for watching.